drumsticks. You can use chicken wings. You can use whole chicken. You can use thighs. You know, just on sale were chicken drumsticks, so I decided to use those. So I've got about 12 or 13 drumsticks here. What you want to do is we have to poach them in salt water first. So I've got a pot of salted water here that's coming to a boil, and I'm gonna smack probably 1.5 inches cubed of ginger. You see I smashed it. And you want to do is you want to smack the green onion too, just to release the aromas, and you're going to put that in the water as well. Some people do that, some people don't. I just choose to, just to help impart a little bit, and you know, sometimes chicken has kind of a chicken essence to it. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to just smack it, and I'm going to just chop it up into bigger pieces and put it into the water. And then with that, we're going to put the chicken in. So you can see now the water's coming, rolling boil. I've got my drumsticks here. So I'm just gonna put the drumsticks into the water. And once that's done, I'm gonna bring it down to a simmer. And I'm gonna let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And then after that 20 minutes, once it's done there in the 20 minutes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them into an ice bath or cold water bath to shock them after the 20 minutes is done. And then what happens is, in Chinese, in Cantonese, they have a word called song. So what happens is it makes the chicken meat almost, it's very, so the water came to a boil. I'm just putting the drumsticks in right now. Once the chicken is in, move it around a little bit. You can see there. I'm gonna bring the water down to a simmer. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna time it for 20 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer, but it's about 20 minutes. Afterwards, we're gonna put the chicken into a ice water bath to shock the chicken to stop the cooking. The main point of that is you wanna get the chicken, the meat to kind of tense up, and that causes an effect that in Cantonese cooking, we call it song hao, which means that when you bite into the chicken, it's almost gonna snap to it. It's a texture. So now we're taking the drumsticks out of the poaching liquid, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it into an ice water bath, like I said, just to shock the chicken and get that chicken meat nice and get it to tense up nicely. And that's gonna help with the texture of the chicken. Okay. Ta-da. So to make the Chinese soy sauce, here's a secret. You have to weigh it out. You use of the kind of the stick sugar here, the pintong, the layered sugar that you find in the Chinese grocery. So you use 3 parts sugar, 3 parts light soy, 2 parts water, and add some Chinese cinnamon sticks, some star anise, maybe a clove or 2 in there. And for that also is, if you want to add a little bit of fragrance, if you can get the rose water liquor, the Chinese rose water, or even you can use some Shaoxing wine. So for about, this is just a little bit. I'm making some more of my soy sauce braising fluid, which I have some already made there that you just keeps in the fridge. Just make sure you boil it off before you cool it. So I'm gonna reheat that in there. Then I'm gonna melt the sugar and the soy sauce there. I'll probably add of some cooking wine, the Shaoxing wine. I'll probably add an ounce or 2 in there after it's boiled. You don't want to boil it out too much because the fragrance goes away. So here the soy sauce is coming to a boil, and I'm just checking to make sure the sugar's all melted. It's close, and it smells amazing. So it should be kind of soy sauce color, nice dark mahogany color. So once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna let it boil down just a little bit, let the sugars finally totally melt out. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it off to cool a little bit, and you wanna just submerge your cold chicken drumsticks You don't want to make this. You don't want to make the soy sauce hot though. You want it kind of somewhat room temperature when you submerge it, because you don't want to cook the chicken, right? Because you're just imparting the flavor now. So we're just kind of think of it as just we're just soaking it and immersing it in the flavor to get that nice mahogany color and the sweetness into the chicken. The chilled chicken drumsticks, and I'm placing them into the soy sauce mixture here. So we can just make sure that the soy sauce mixture can be kept. I just keep mine in the fridge because there's so much sodium in the soy sauce, it doesn't really go bad. The only thing you have to ensure is that before you put it in the fridge, you want to boil it up again, and that just gets rid of the tap water, I guess, the tap water in that I've been using here for the ice bath. And right now, I'm just gonna put a plate here just to cover up the drumsticks to ensure that they stay submerged. So here we are. The soy sauce chicken drumsticks are now finished. You see that they get a nice mahogany color about them. So I'm just gonna take them out of the soy sauce here. I'm gonna put them into, you can serve them kind of warm if you want. I prefer mine more on the chilled side. I just like the flavor of it. So, like I said, I was using a plate just on top just to keep them submerged, because the drumsticks will tend to float up a little bit here. So, the last one out. There you are. So look up close here. You can see it's got a nice mahogany color there. The meat is really dense. So it's, when you bite into it, it's not going to be super mushy. It's very nice. And you see the color of the soy. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to boil it back up. And the reason why is that, like I said, with that ice water bath, the water's not sterilized. So if I left it alone, this soy sauce in the fridge would go moldy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil it, bring it up to a boil, I'm going to cool it again, and I'm going to put it into a container. Like, you can use one of those plastic takeout containers like this. Just use one of those if you wanted to. Just make sure before you put it in there that your soy sauce mixture is cooled, and make sure that you use some boiling water to sterilize those containers. You can use mason jar, you can use anything you want, but that's what you have to do. You gotta make sure it's sterilized, and that prevents the soy sauce from going bad and getting mold on it.